live in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now let people in.
Awesome.
Gotta remove the waiting room.
I'm in the waiting room too. The other me.
Oh,
The other you.
Oh, there it goes. Yep, I could see that.
welcome everyone. As you come in, I just wanted to welcome you to another edition of Power Skills 2020. I hope you've been enjoying the week, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. I see some familiar faces, and to you I say welcome back. Today I'm so happy to introduce someone I happen to know very well. She's actually, for those of you who are Canadian or Montrealers, she was born in New Brunswick but lived in Montreal for a while, which is how I know her. She's going to tell you her story on how she came into coaching, because it's really interesting. And you know, we always talk about at CATS, because I'm Rosalia, by the way, from CATS, Career Advising and Transition Services at McGill School of Continuing Studies. But at CATS, we often talk about people's career trajectory and how those people who are worried because their path isn't necessarily straight. Well, here's a wonderful example of someone who's done many different things and how she's made each of them a success. So I'm really happy to have Lauren here today. She'll tell you more about herself. And why don't we begin? Everyone, let's please give, a few instructions. I'm sorry, you can keep your camera on or off, completely up to you. We've muted you all, but there might be an occasion where Lauren answers questions. She and Nayo and I will be looking at the chat. Nayo, my colleague, is here also with me, and he's going to say hello. I'm sure if you've been at Power Skills sessions, you have seen him before as well. And so without further ado, let's warmly welcome Lauren Lapointe.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I hope everyone's doing well. And before we dive in, I'm just curious where everybody is, I guess, calling in from. So if you can locate the chat, if anybody doesn't know where the chat is, pop that in the chat. But if you can pop in there where you are, I would love to hear that. I'm going to share where I am in a second too. So, and I'm looking over here because my chat's over here, but my camera's over here. So if I'm doing this a lot, that's why. Ooh, lots of Montrealers. Scotland is one of my literally favorite places in the world. Paris too. I have a lot of favorite places. Paris is another. Croissants all day. Oh, Cheryl from Orlando. Hey, Cheryl. See some familiar faces. Oh, this is fabulous. Ontario, Quebec City. I lived there for a little bit. Beautiful city. India, very cool. That's on the bucket list. Ottawa, fabulous. Well, thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and dive in because I've got a lot of great stuff here. And I thought what I would do, I know you'll probably have questions today, which I love, and we're going to save time at the end for questions. So if you think of a question partway through, go ahead and write it down. Or you can pop it in the chat. I just don't want to miss it. Maybe Rosalia can help me make sure I don't miss any questions if I need to come back to them later. That being said, I am going to ask you guys some questions as we go through the info today, because I'd love for this to be very interactive. I'd love for you guys to get some ideas flowing and some inspiration. And if you want to share that, a great way to kind of make that more concrete, I guess, for all of us is to type that in. So feel free to use the chat to pop in with, with ideas and things like that so that we can really get the most out of our time here today. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a whole bunch of slides today because I like to look at things, and let me make sure that can you guys see my slides okay? Rosalie, thumbs up. Okay, Niall gave me a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. Except I've got me blocking up part of my slide, but that's okay. Cool. Awesome. So how to turn your talents into a successful online coaching business. That's what we're talking about today. And you're in the right place if you are interested in starting an online coaching business. Hold on one second. I've got my video blocking my slides. I'm going to do this. Sorry, you guys. There we go. Got it. You're interested in starting an online coaching business from scratch, and you want to learn how to do that, right? And maybe you're already a coach and you want to learn strategies for growing your business, right? So everything that we're covering today is applicable for you as well. Maybe you already have some kind of business, or you do something and you want to add a coaching component to it. A lot of people do that, and that can be really fabulous. And maybe you're just kind of curious about coaching and you want to learn more. So basically, whatever the reason you're here, you're in the right place, and I know you'll get some great value. And I'm just curious, can you pop in the chat which of these best applies to you? Are you a 1? Are you curious about starting a coaching business? Are you 2? Are you already a coach? Are you 3? You have some other business and you want to add coaching to it? Or are you 4? Just kind of general curious? I would love to see that. I just lost my chat again. Or little navigation thing going on here. So let's see. Ooh, 1s, 4s, 2s, 3. I love this. So we got a little bit of everybody. Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I just started before COVID. Yeah, okay, great. Love it, love it. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So here's what you're going to learn today in our workshop. So you'll get a little snapshot of what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about why now is such a great time to start your coaching business. You're going to learn what you need, but also what you don't need to get started. We're going to talk about the nuts and the bolts of starting your business from scratch. Okay, so for my my newbies, we got you covered here. Everything is going to be here. For my coaches, you're going to love this refresher. I'm going to talk about the 4 key steps that you need for your business to be successful. Okay, so we can pare it right down to 4 steps, and we're going to dive into those. We're going to talk about what kind of coaching you should offer. I know that's a question that comes up for a lot of people when they're starting. We're going to talk about how you can create a coaching package that sells easily, that, so you can attract lots of clients, how to find and start working with paid clients right away, the fastest way to grow your business. And I'm also going to share with you the number 1 thing that keeps coaches from starting or just moving forward. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about what to do to fix that so that you can just move forward with the next step for you. Okay, so there's my big colorful welcome. So glad you guys are here today. And I do have a free gift. So because I have all these slides, and there's some good info on there that you might want to take with you. So at the end of the presentation today, I'm going to be sharing a way that you can download and keep the slides. Okay, so if you're frantically taking notes, that's fine too, but you'll get a copy of the slides at the end of the presentation. So a little bit about me. My name's Lauren Lapointe, and I grew up in Canada. I'm so used to saying, you can hear from my accent, but a lot of you are Canadian. So you're like, what do you mean? You sound perfectly normal. But I live in Florida, and I've lived in southern US for a while. So you'll see on this left picture, my Montrealers might recognize that. That's old Montreal. Rosalia, you may have taken that picture, possibly. It goes back a ways.
I did, and it's in front of my place, Lauren.
Is it? I love it. So, so I love it. It's so nice when I have a friend, especially a friend like Rosalia. We go way back on here. So I had to pop in a few of these pictures for her. And on the right is my buddy Alfred the alligator. I live in Florida, and I grew up in Canada, of course, so I still can't get used to seeing alligators every day. So, I'm looking over here because my window for my office looks out on all these beautiful hiking trails and lakes, and there's alligators. So I see this guy pretty much every day on my walk. So that's a bit of a jump from Canada, but it's all good and it all works. So that's a bit about me, but I wanted to share with you how I started coaching, how I came to coaching. Okay. So I studied business back in the day, and I went on to work in corporate, my business job. And, I worked really hard. I had some success and accomplishments. I had the lovely cushy corner office, but I wasn't completely happy doing the work that I was doing. And I just had this feeling that I was supposed to be doing something different. And it just really felt that life was just passing me by. And there I was sitting, the fluorescent lights, the office, doing this work. And it really felt like I was pouring my my energy and my talents and everything. I was putting all this goodness into work that went to somebody else, and which didn't always feel that good. Okay. And I just remember this one day in this cushy, it was really quite a nice office, can you tell? And I looked out the window one day, and it was this beautiful sunny day. And I saw people walking by and doing their things. And it just really struck me. It was this moment that has stood with me so much. And I thought, well, life is going by, and here I am stuck in this office. And that kind of planted the seeds for change for me. But I didn't make change right away, because you know how us humans are, or most of us are, right? We take our time, which is fine. I had one coach who said that on average, we take 3 years to make the changes we need to make or something. There's studies about it, but I took my time, but it started to affect my health, right? because our bodies will start to tell us when we're not in alignment and doing what we're supposed to do. So that's when I knew without a shadow of a doubt that it was time to do something different. And the first time I heard about coaching, I was immediately intrigued, which is funny. I hadn't really heard about it before. This was about 6 years ago that I first heard about coaching. But I really love the idea of helping people like in a meaningful way, felt like meaningful work. And I also love the idea of just having my own business. I could, make my own hours. I could work from anywhere I wanted. I love to travel a lot. And I could just really create the business and life that I really wanted. So there was a lot of things that were appealing to me. Okay. So I went for it. I dove in, but I did make a lot of mistakes along the way. And I laugh when I say that because the joke that I make with a lot of my coach friends is that I made all the mistakes. And at the time it was really frustrating. I was like, why do I do this? Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. And I would always learn and get better. But it was definitely the long, slow way. And I now know that that was for a reason. It was so that I could help other people not make those same mistakes, or at least have a better understanding, right? Because there's always going to be little things along the way. But now I understand that's why. So here's just a highlight of a few of my top early mistakes, because there's a lot, but we don't have that kind of time. So number one is I tried to piece together a coaching business. Okay. So, there's like bits and pieces over here. So I was just kind of trying to like put it all together and cobble it together, and just guessing what I was doing. And I thought the secret to success was to just work harder. And I'm losing my slides again. But I thought that this would get me results. So when things weren't working and I was doing this stuff and not getting what I wanted, I was like, I just need to work harder. I just need to work harder. And that was coming from my corporate background, where it was always a mentality, just work harder, just work harder. But that doesn't work in a coaching business, which I learned the long way. And, and in fact, that'll just lead you to burnout pretty quickly. Right. I tried to do all the things myself. I don't know if anybody else here, is like a strong, independent do-it-yourselfer. Those are beautiful qualities. But the flip side to that is that sometimes we cannot ask for the help that we need. So having a coaching business taught me how to ask for and receive help, which is really important. And I spent a lot of time worrying, like, am I good enough as a coach? Why is somebody going to hire me as a coach? What do I have to offer? There's a bazillion other more people with all these expertise and amazing credentials, and I'm not unique, like all those things. Basically, it's imposter syndrome, which you may have heard of that term. And I spent a lot of time wrapped up in that, and that's unnecessary. That's the short version, right? But it just takes up your time and energy and keeps us from doing the things we're supposed to do, right? So that was one of my big mistakes. And basically, I made my business stressful rather than soulful, okay? Soulful has become a key word for me in my coaching business now, especially when I tend to veer off into the stressful. It's like, no, make it soulful, right? And here are some of the top things that I learned so I can share with you today. Because what I'm sharing today is, it's a lot of good strategies and ideas, but I also want you to be aware of a lot of the common mistakes that keep coaches from starting or just advancing with their businesses, right? So now I always have a roadmap and a plan and a strategy. Okay, I've gotten away from doing things just here and here and here and here without a plan. Okay, that tends to be my natural thing. I'm more of a creative type, so I'm like this. But now I always know that when I start with a plan and a strategy, and we're going to talk more about that, that's how it works, and which feels really good.
Lauren, sorry to interject, but we actually have a question about what online coaching business do you have?
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that question. So, and I was going to dive into that in a second, but I don't mind jumping in and talking about it now. So I've been coaching for 6 years, and I help coaches start and grow their online coaching businesses. That's the short version. Yeah. So love it. Thank you for asking. So great. So another thing that's important is that I always have a coach. The expression is coaches have coaches, and I know how to ask for and receive support. I keep my business soulful, inspiring, and fulfilling. That's so important. I talked about my walks with the alligators, and that seemed kind of silly, but it's actually a part of my daily routine. It helps bring that element into my day and my work. And I also know without a shadow of a doubt that I and every other person has something unique to offer as a coach, right? So a lot of my clients come to me and don't see that for themselves, and we work on that because we do. Okay, so that's a belief that needs to be shifted for sure. I also stay away from the hustle harder mindset and really focus on a healthy work-life balance, right? Because that's why I created my own business, was to have that. Um, and that's really important in my business now. So, and I also know that to have a successful coaching business, it doesn't need to be hard. It's not just for a special few, and it doesn't need to take a long time. So, so let's talk about just really briefly what my business looks like now, so you have an idea of what a business can look like. So I do this full time. It's consistent. That's really key for coaches, so it's not like client here, client there, sort of the inconsistency that can happen. It's consistent. So steady clients and growing. Okay. So steady clients, steady income, and in a position to grow. And I expanded my coaching. Initially, we often start with private and one-on-one coaching to get our business going. And then once you get all the things running in your business and you know how to attract clients, then you can move to things like group programs, online courses, masterminds, things like that as well, because then you can attract a lot of people at once, right? I don't work more than 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm really strict about that. I can be a workaholic person, but I don't. And sometimes I'll work a lot less. So that's been a big shift, which I like. And I make sure that my work and my life feel spacious and balanced. And I also like that I feel like I have control over how much I make and the lifestyle. So if I want to make more money for something, I know how to do that, right? And if I want to make some shifts in my life, like let's say I want to go on a vacation or do something, I know how to create that as well. So that's really important as well. My business feels meaningful, fulfilling, creative, and inspiring. Those are key core values for me. We all have our key core values. Those are very important for me. I want to feel excited to do my work every day, right? And this is one of my favorite things. This is why we do this. I get to connect with amazing clients all over the globe, and I get to celebrate their successes. It's incredible. And that's like the reason I do this. The biggest challenge right now in my business is trying to choose which idea to work on. I don't know if anybody else here can relate to being, oh, I get this idea and I get this idea and this, right? So if you tend to be like that, those are great. It's a great quality, right? But the challenge is, okay, which one am I going to focus on first? And then this, so that you can manifest them all, but there's a way to do that, okay? So now what I do is I help coaches start and grow their successful coaching businesses. And what's really important for why I do this work and what I help my clients do is to create meaningful soul-led work, okay? So that you can get paid well for doing what you love to do, what you're good at. You can create a business that works with your freedom-based lifestyle rather than the other way around. So you're not trying, so it's not like your work is over here and your life is over here, and there's always kind of a little conflict between the two. Your coaching business works the best when it meshes with your life, and it's, I don't mean that you don't have the separation from work and life. I mean in terms of creating the type of work that you do so that you can live the life you want, okay? And what I really want to emphasize is it doesn't need to take a long time. It doesn't require you don't need any special tech skills, marketing, Jedi skills, superhero, anything like that, okay? Because I do hear that a lot from people who want to start, but they're worried about that. I've had clients come to me who are, like they're barely on a computer and they've never been on social media and they're doing this. Okay. So if you guys are on the Zoom call, you're like high tech. Okay. So that's all good. So really all that's required is a desire to start, an interest in helping others, an openness to learn, and the willingness to take action. And that's what we're going to talk about today in our workshop. So let's dive into why now is a great time to start your coaching business. So is this good? How's everyone? Let me check in with y'all. You can see some of your faces over here. So yay, I got a thumbs up from Celine. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to keep going because I'm on a roll now. But I'm going to check in with you guys. Rosalia will let me know if there's anything we should pause and address. And I can't wait to talk to you guys when I'm done with all my spiel here. Okay. And don't forget, you'll get these slides too. So if you may not get it all today, and I don't expect you, but I want you to leave with a few good nuggets. And, and I'll be asking you at the end, like, what are your top takeaways? Like, you're not going to probably have 30 of them. You'll probably have 1 to 3 that are really significant. So be thinking about what that is for you as we move through this. Okay.
Lauren, I just have a question because that came up in the chat, only because I think people were surprised by your 25 to 30 hour work week.
Oh,
so
okay.
said, is that the number of hours you put in from the beginning, or is this something like you work towards?
Oh, I love this question. Thank you for pointing that out for me. Yeah. I just kind of glossed it over, but it was actually a long process for me. And that was from me, right? It's not the work, it's from my mindset that I had to work all the time. But when I started, I was working I would work 12-hour days. I remember it being like close to midnight and I was like on my computer. So you can make yourself as busy as you want. It doesn't necessarily yield results. In fact, it can lead you to burnout pretty quickly. So, and I actually had some of that for a little bit, or I was pretty close to it, I should say. Like I could feel that things were going off again. And I had this soul moment where I was like, I'm not doing this so that I can get sick like I did when I was working in my corporate job. And I made some shifts. And you can absolutely have a successful coaching business without working night and day. And you do need to work. I'm not going to sugarcoat and say, yeah, it's like that. I mean, there is legit work and there are legit steps. But what's more important is, I know this is a stereotype, but like working smarter, right? If you know what to do, then, and you're intentional about it, and a lot of times it's our work habits. I've done a lot of work on my habits and my productivity. I've always been a worker, and I've always been accomplishing things, but learning how to be more productive in less time and be more intentional. So I could do a whole workshop on that. I love that question. So, because you have to get really good at that when you work for yourself. When you work for somebody else, it's more structured. You're kind of like, okay, like, you know what to do. You get up, I'm going to go to the office and I'm going to do this, And if it takes you longer to do stuff, that can be okay. But when you work for yourself, if you're taking a lot of time to do stuff, then you can feel that imbalance creep in with your work life. Anyway, I'm kind of going off, but I just love this question so much. So hopefully that answered that, and we can talk about it some more at the end. I do want to share really quickly, because I know this helps frame this for a lot of people. I had one client who was still working in corporate when she came to me. She wanted to start her coaching business. But she had like a really significant full-time job, and she had a life and things like that. And she didn't know how she was going to balance her time. And she literally had 2 hours a week to work on her coaching business. She had Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. That was it. But here's the thing, she got it up and running. In 4 weeks, she had clients and she was getting paid for her coaching business. And the reason for that is because she knew what to do in those 2 hours. She wasn't going, well, let me go surf, check this out, and let me go watch this video, and maybe I'll work. Like, she knew what to do, right? She sat down and she got to it, and she made great progress. So it's more about being consistent, I think, and just showing up every week in the right way. So let's just talk really briefly about why now is a great time, because I do get that question a lot from people, and I just want to address that off the bat and get you excited, because it is a great time to start a coaching business. So it's one of the fastest growing industries right now. 2019, it was estimated at 15 billion growing. That's a worldwide number. And the majority of people, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but most people don't know what coaching is, right? So I know when I'm out telling people what I'm doing, most people do not know what that is. And that's exciting. That means there is so much potential, right? It is not a saturated market at all. It's only just beginning. And so it's really a great time to get in there, because there's all this potential, and people are starting to understand what it is. They understand there's life coaching, but there's so much more than that. And it can help people make changes quickly. People love the personalized and human aspect of coaching, right? I love my online courses. I love books and watching videos and all of the things, but there is nothing like having an actual person in your corner. That when you have a coach, it's like a whole different thing, and people are recognizing how valuable that is. So people are recognizing that it can really be a pivotal shift to make important changes in your life, right? And from a business perspective, an online coaching business is one of the simplest businesses to start, right? It's not like starting a restaurant where there's a lot of overhead. It's not like an online course where you need to build out all these modules and material. You know, you can start coaching today. You just need like either a phone or an internet connection, right? I mean, that's so in that way, it's quite simple to get started, and you can start earning from it pretty quickly. Whereas, you know, with other businesses, you know, it can take longer. So I don't know. I know for restaurants, there's like was it like I can't remember. I'm going to quote things that are wrong, but it can take a while to get to be profitable, whereas coaching can happen pretty quickly. And due to the pandemic and recession, I don't know if you have noticed this, but there has been a shift. Maybe you're seeing this, maybe you're even feeling this yourself, but there's been a shift to people seeking out things that are kind of on a deeper, more soulful level, more meaning. You know, our way of life has been shifted, and the things that we thought were safe aren't necessarily as safe anymore. And there's been a shift. And as a result, you'll see a lot of people finally go, you know, saying, I've always wanted to do such and such. I'm going to do it. And coaches can really help people do that. Okay. So it's really, there's a bazillion other reasons, but I just wanted to give you some highlights. So it's a great time to create a space for yourself in the online coaching world. And I wanted you to take that with you today. But there are certain things that are needed. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about those. Checking in with you guys over here. I love that I can see your faces. You guys are all good? I love Celine. She gives me the thumbs up. So awesome. Great. Fabulous. Okay, I'm going to keep on going here. So what do you really need and what do you not need to start your coaching business? Okay, love this part. So what's not needed to start a coaching business? Certification or special credentials. Okay, so let's talk about that right off the bat, because that's almost always one of the first questions I get. So the really brief explanation for this, and I have a longer video on my Facebook page for people who might want to talk about this some more, but briefly, coaching is not a regulated industry. There's pros and cons to that, of course, but you don't need to be a certified coach. You know, there's other things that are more important. Coming from an academic background, I know like many of you are in academia, and I know I come from an academic background. My parents were professors and teachers. I'm married to a college professor. So it's a shift in thinking that I don't need a piece of paper to be a coach. And your clients will not come to you because of your piece of paper. They're going to come to you because you can help them solve a problem. That's a really short version of it. Okay. But I want you to know that you do not need that. You don't need a beautiful website. You don't need to make a logo. You don't need that photo shoot where you're standing in front of the Eiffel Tower looking amazing. You don't need beautiful branding. You don't need any of the external stuff. Okay. You can have that, like eventually you'll have these and you'll add them into your business, but this is not the important stuff. I didn't have any of this stuff for the first 2 years that I coached. One of my coaches, she took her business to 7 figures without any of this stuff. There are other things that are more important, and focusing on these can, I see this a lot, can keep people from actually doing their coaching work. Okay. They're like, I need a website, And a lot of times that comes from our feeling the need to be validated. Sorry, I'm just giving this to you guys. It's like, here's everything you need to know. So, you know, but there's other ways to do that, which is basically jumping in and coaching. And you'll get validated pretty quickly that way when you start helping people. You don't need any special online tech or marketing skills. We talked about that. You do not need to be the world expert in your niche. You do not need a big audience or any audience. And you don't need a lot of time, which we talked about as well. It's not a big investment, like starting like a brick and mortar or a restaurant or something can be much more of an investment. And I compare it to a college degree where, you know, which can be costly, especially I'm in the US. So, you know, those are extremely expensive. So there are some like I would say, you know, invest in getting, like learning how to do it and get your own coach and learn how to do this. That would probably be the biggest investment to get started. But compared to other things, it's very little as well. So let's talk about what you do need to start coaching. All right. This is a big one here, and we're going to dive into this some more. Okay. So, but this is the core of your coaching business, is a clear problem that you solve or a transformation that you provide for a specific group of people. Okay. This can be, it sounds very simple, but it's actually this is very challenging for a lot of people, and this is why we're going to dive into this a little more detail, but this is essentially what you need before you go and make a website and do all the things. Okay, this is what's important. And I talked about not needing to be the world expert. That will get you into that imposter syndrome mindset. If we start looking at that, you really just need to be one step ahead of your clients, right? You've been where they are, but you know how to get to the next stage, which is what they want. In fact, what I often see a lot in the coaching industry is people are intimidated by somebody who's like way successful and way ahead of them. Like it's, like people like to talk to actual people who are, like, oh, you get me, like you understand and you've done this. So let's, that's often where the connection comes through coaching. That desire to help others, which is so key. And really, it's that commitment to uncovering your unique coaching gift, which you have, and developing it and then sharing it, putting it into the world. Okay. And the willingness to learn the steps and take action so that you can have the coaching business, right? Those sound kind of vague. Like I know when I was new, like I was, that stuff, I was like, give me the action steps, and we're going to get there. Lots of action steps here. But these are actually really core. And by glossing these over when I started, I missed a lot of the goodness. So this is why I really wanted to share this with you today, so that you really can take away that this is the stuff that will help you get started or take that next level in your coaching business. So now we're going to dive into the 4 steps. And before I do that, is there anything that's coming up for anybody? Anything you want to share? How you guys doing? Looking for my...
I have a few questions here, Lauren. Maybe
Sure.
just with this transition. One is, did you quit your job to focus on your online business? Or is that something you did differently? And do you think that opening your online business is compatible with a full-time job?
Great questions. Love that. So the short version is, and it's funny, I used to talk about this, but then it kind of felt like I was just telling you guys my entire life story. So thank you for asking. When I first left my job, I actually wanted to become a musician. Rosalia knows this. She was very pivotal in supporting me during this. And that was my first transition. Was I became, I was like, I want to be a musician. And I didn't really have much of a background in it. But I had the drive and the commitment. So I became a successful musician, and I did that full time for a number of years. And that actually helped me understand how to run a business for myself. That helped me learn how to do sales and marketing. And when I moved into coaching, I brought in coaching while I was doing music, because it was a nice work to do on the road. I could bring it with me. I could fit it into other things. So that's how I started coaching alongside with the music. And, but more and more people were asking me how to take what they wanted to do, their soul work, their passion, whatever you want to call it, their calling, and like make that work, like earn money from it, like have a full-time job. And that's what people were seeing me doing. And that's what they were asking. So my coaching kind of shifted more and more into helping people. And then everybody was asking me about the coaching business, and I shifted into that. And that's really the right fit for me, because that connects with like my values and how the impact I want to have on the world. Like, I believe that through a coaching business, people can let their own talents and gifts shine. You can have a full-time successful business pretty quickly and all the things. So, okay, so that's the short version of that. I could talk about that more, but that's good. And the second question, sorry, what was the second question, Rosalia? I went off.
It was, did you full-time, and then is it compatible? Like, so if you are working, but I think you addressed that in a way too, that.
Yes, it absolutely is. Like what's more important is it's not about clearing everything off your plate in life, because when does that happen, right? And it's more about being intentional with your time. Okay. And so a lot of my clients come to me who are working, the majority of them come to me and they have full-time jobs. Some of them are running other businesses. A couple of my clients have 2 other businesses that they run at the same time. Okay. And a lot of them come from like corporate or, different types of jobs as well. So, but it's really about that commitment to time. So when I work with clients, we look at their time. We go, what's going to work here? Where are you going to, and we work on the work habits as well. And it's all going to work. Anything in your life is going to work if you're just intentional. If you go, this is a priority for me, and I'm going to fit this in and make this work, right? It's always about prioritizing rather than the actual number of hours in the day. So if you want this to work with what you've got going on now, I can guarantee you there's a way to make that work, right? Even if you're like my friend who literally had 2 hours a week and she made great progress. Okay, cool. So awesome. Great questions. All right, so let's move off this very pink slide. So we're going to dive into the 4 steps. Okay, so here we're going to get into the actual steps. It'll be super helpful for you to have the slides at the end as well. So don't feel like you need to take all of this in at once. All right. But the very first step is to create the business that you want. Okay. I love this quote. The first secret of getting what you want is knowing what you want. Isn't that true about everything, right? Not just a coaching business. So I want you to really think about, why would you like to coach and why would you like to start a coaching business? Okay. In fact, go ahead and pop into the chat. Like, what interests us about you? Just pop in like a word or two. Why has my chat disappeared? My chat has completely disappeared. Goodness. 1 second. Let me see if I can bring it back. I must have pressed a button. Okay. Well, I'm going to look at your answers later. So I'm going to be looking at them later and also saving the chat. So I'd love to hear. Yeah, actually, let me do this for a second.
I can also read them out, Lauren, if you want, whatever you prefer.
I just wanted to, I feel like I was sliding a lot with you guys. Oh, look at these. I'm so glad I stopped. Freedom, helping others, 100%, doing something you love, brilliant, enhancing lives of others, sharing my knowledge, empowering others, beautiful, helping people to be happy. A coaching business would be a great way of easing into retirement. Yeah, I've actually had a couple clients do that. My 2 hours a week lady, that's what she was doing. That was her plan. Creative expression, brilliant, helping others meet their goals. I love this. Oh my gosh. So great, fabulous. Oh, I love this. You guys are right there. Okay, so let's go back here. Carry on. Where are my slides? And play. Okay. Excellent. Beautiful. So let's talk about let's plan out your coaching business, shall we? We're gonna get in there. If you got your notes, let's let the ideas flow and just jot them down for you, okay? So the most successful coaching businesses start with a big picture, dream, or vision, okay? So a lot of you have identified that already. Sometimes I'll have I'd say 50% of people have that when they start and 50% don't. So if you don't have that already, it's totally fine. We're going to talk about what that looks like for you, okay? So what's really important to know is that you want to start with an idea of what you want. And so, you want to paint the picture of everything you want and then work backwards, rather than starting from a place of, well, this is only available for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That feels very constricted and limiting, So we want to really start. Again, this can be for anything that we're designing, but for your coaching business, start with truly what you want, dig into that work, get clear on how this aligns and all of that stuff. So when you identify your big vision and dream, you know what you're working towards, and everything you're doing now will feel aligned, and you'll be able to make decisions for your business. That's really key. As a business owner, you're going to be making decisions a lot all the time. And if you know what your end goal is, what your big picture is, you can know what to say yes to, what to say no to, what to say later. You can just go and it comes together so much faster than when you don't know and you're kind of going, let me go over here, and then you go off, down some rabbit hole. So here's some ideas for what your big dream or vision might look like, just to get the idea spinning today. What's the lifestyle you'd like to create for yourself? What are your income goals? Are there specific gifts, talents, passions? Maybe you have some interests that you've always wanted to develop and share, right? And you can bring that into your coaching business. What's the impact you'd like to make with your coaching business? Can you make it connect and align with your purpose? And what's the work-life balance that you'd like to have? So key, right? So that will give you an idea of your big picture. Once you know that, then you can start to design how your business is going to look. Okay. And what that means is looking for example, the format of your coaching. Okay. So when my clients come to me, we get really clear on what they want, what's aligned for them. And then we create the business that works for them. Okay. I had one client, Usha, who came to me, and she was an experienced coach. She'd been doing this for a while. She'd taken a lot of programs. She had a lot of the stuff set up, but her business wasn't really clicking. She wasn't really bringing in consistent clients. She wasn't really making a lot of money. You could tell that she wasn't feeling connected to it as well. And we dug in there and we looked at her lifestyle and how, she loved to travel. And she was one of those who did a couple other businesses. And what was happening is that her coaching business, this was subconscious, right? As all the good stuff often is. But she was subconsciously blocking herself because she was feeling that, if she did her coaching business, she wouldn't be able to do this thing that she loved. She wouldn't be able to do this thing that she, so we got her whole life kind of mapped out pretty quickly and aligned her coaching business with how that would look for her. For her, that was group programs. And it worked. It was really cool to watch. So that's why it's so key to start from this place. If we start by just the action steps and the strategies, I love that stuff. But if we start there and we try to add it on to things that aren't really like aligned or connected, that's when a lot of coaches struggle. Okay. So that's why we're starting with this. You want to look at things at how your programs will be designed and offered, like how, are you going to have a 90-day program, that kind of thing, right? A lot of coaches will do things like they love to do speaking engagements, in person once they're able, online, of course. A lot of coaches write books, have podcasts, things like that. So there's a lot of things that you can bring into your coaching business. So when you're planning your big picture, think about these things. Like, what is your end goal, right? I'm not saying you're going to have all these in the next 90 days, but when you know what you're going towards, you are taking steps in the right direction to make that happen. What type of schedule you'd like to create for yourself, how many clients you'd like to work with, your income goals, and how your programs will support this, right? So if you want to make like 20K months, are you going to sell, are you going to create, sign up 4 clients at 5K each, or do you want to have, 20 clients at 1K, like, different things like that. So when you're designing your business, you're looking at how that all works. And we have to start there before we do all the other steps, right? So once you know why you're coaching and what you want, then we do want to set some time goals, okay? And I like to work with 90-day goals because those are really attainable, and we can really make some big progress with our 90-day goals. Okay, so your 90-day goals might look like, when would you like to launch? If you're looking at starting your business, like when? Like, look at your calendar. What's your date? If you're already coach, what's the next step for you, and when do you want that to happen? How much would you like to earn during this time? It's really important to identify your income goals and to be comfortable talking about money as a business owner. Because if we don't, and we're not clear on them, it's harder to make that happen. And so, so get clear on your money goals and what is aligned and what's going to work with all of the things. Okay. How many clients would you like to work with? What would you like to accomplish in your business? How will you learn and get support? Okay. And I just want to say that, of course, as you're setting goals and kind of designing and thinking about your business, it's all going to shift and change, and you're going to adjust things as you go. But when you start by setting these down, you're giving yourself a roadmap, and this is the way to make things happen. Okay. And to get results is to take all of our ideas and make them tangible. Okay. And to stay on track. And again, it's so easy in coach land to go down these rabbit holes. So a lot of my presentation today is letting you know what those rabbit holes are, so you can stay here and move forward. Open-ended dreams and plans are difficult to manifest. So try to stay in the mindset of what you really want, connect with your heart, okay? So we don't want to plan our business just from our heads. In fact, we want to start here. So it's important to bring that in. When I started my business, I was all head. I was all left brain. I was all, my business mode. Lovely to have that, but you've got to bring your heart into it, right? And create from that place, and from a place of inspiration. Your business will come together so much easier, and it's like this energy you give off, clients are drawn to that energy too. When you're feeling it like, yes, I'm doing my thing, people are drawn to that, right? Whereas if we're like, oh, this feels hard, people aren't so much drawn to that. So, so there's an energetic component to that as well. So basically, I want to give you permission to dream big. Okay. So as you're thinking about your business, try to get out of that little voice that says, oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, no. Like, just set that aside while you're in this first stage and really planning and designing. Okay. And you will, deep inside, what your coaching business looks like for you. Okay. Okay. Take a sip of water. How's everyone doing? All right. I'm getting some more thumbs up.
You're getting a lot of love on chat, Lauren. So just so you know. So
well, love back.
A lot of appreciation. So great.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Okay. Well, I don't know if this is coming up for anybody, but what kind of coach are you? So that's one of the first questions I always get, like, well, okay, I want to be a coach. And then it's, what am I going to coach, right? Some people come like really clear on what they're going to coach, which is great. So if that's you, we're going to talk about how you can like refine that up. But if you're starting from like, I have no idea what I'm going to coach, you're in good company, because that's often how people start. So this section talks about who you will coach and how you will help. And I just want to say that this is the core of your business, like we're in the strategy part now. And before, like, I love talking about online marketing and strategies and all that stuff, but we can't get into any of that stuff until this part is dialed in and clear, and you are clear and confident on this, and you can be at ease with this. Okay. So this is why this needs to come in this order, and it feels kind of intangible. And I know for when my clients come and we work on this part, there's some, like, it can be like, it can feel kind of frustrating, but on the other side, it's worth it. So this is why I want to talk about it today. It's perhaps not as exciting and instant gratification, but it'll give you your coaching business, which is cool. Okay. And when you land on your thing, it's a beautiful thing. So this is what we call your coaching niche. Okay. In the US, a lot of people say niche. I lived in Montreal. I say niche. So however you want to say it, it's all good. So rhymes with quiche. So there's 3 areas that we're going to look at in this section. We're going to look at you and what you can offer as a coach. We're going to talk about who you're going to coach and how specifically you can help them. Okay. So how to choose your niche. This is a fast version, but these are the key points right here. So you want to think about your strengths, talents, skills, and expertise. And there can be some digging in there. A lot of times we do not know ourselves what our strengths and gifts and all those things are. We know some, there's some that we're probably been validated in our lives, but there's probably some others that are there as well that are kind of nudging at you that might want to come out in your coaching business as well. So there's a deep dive into this as well. And when you're thinking about the things that you're good at and have, expertise in, if you want to use that word, just some experience in, you want to really think about the ones that you're wildly excited about and interested in. This is key. And this is often overlooked. You could be really good at, give me something like woodworking. No idea where that came from. I don't even know what that means really, but let's say you're really good at work. Oh, I have a friend who's wants to, that's why I know where that came from. Okay. We were talking recently. So, but you're not that excited about it. You're like, well, I'm really good at this. So here's the thing. You can start your coaching business like that just to get it going. Some people do that. But you check in with what is really lighting you up. Okay. And, because if you're really on fire about something, like, you're going to make this happen, right? Like, that's going to like get you over like oh, I got to put myself out there as a coach and all that. Oh, I got to go look for clients, all that stuff, because you are just on fire about what you are coaching. So ideally there's a blend. Let's see, I want to look at my other points here. Pick one that excites you and scares you a little too. Do you know, like, I've started to really like pay attention. It's like you can feel it in the pit of your stomach. Do you guys know what I mean? It's like that gut, how they call it the gut feeling. You can feel that around your coaching business and make decisions from that place, and especially around what you're coaching. Okay. Like, you kind of feel this little like, I do that little Marie Kondo, like that spark joy, like, ooh, you can kind of feel that, you know? So you want to, I know I did not do that well, but you want to feel that around your niche ideally, but you don't have to, okay? If you're like, I don't know what that is, and that's okay. Like, but you're really good at woodworking and you know you could start your coaching business around that. Like, great, start there. Like almost all coaches will change their niche over time. Okay. It's all, I would say like 99% too. So you want to pick something to get started. And ideally it's something that you feel confident about. So if it's really exciting, but maybe you haven't like gotten to a certain level of comfort in it yourself. So you want to balance that excitement with something that you feel that you have something to offer in and can be confident about, and something that you can talk about all day long. Like you can probably tell, I like talking about coaching businesses, right? I can sit here all day with you guys. So you want to find something that you could talk about all day long because you just love it and you love it, but you also feel like it helps people, like it feels really connected and soulful and all those good things. Okay. So yeah, and I mentioned that here too, connected to your why and purpose and what you stand for. So, okay, so it's a lot of stuff to think about. So, but what I really want to have you take away from this is I want you to know that you do have something special and unique to offer as a coach. You probably have a number of niches you could do really well. Okay. So, but I want you to know that that does exist and we don't let that imposter syndrome get in the way. It'll come up, but I want you to identify it and be like, oh, there's imposter syndrome. Off you go. Okay. Your niche is going to most likely morph and change as you do. We're humans and we're always growing and developing and changing, and our interests and our passions change and all the things, right? And that will happen to you too, most likely. So pick something to start and don't get too stuck in trying to figure it out because you won't, or make it perfect because it won't be. Okay. So just take that pressure off yourself and choose something to get started. So your work here is really just to start coaching as soon as you can and help people and be open to where your unique coaching gift will lead you. Okay. The very first coaching program I signed up for when I decided I wanted to be a coach, we started on a Monday, and on Monday, the coach said, okay, I want you to have 3 clients by Thursday. And we were just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what? I don't know what to coach. How can I go? All the things. And, you know, and I did it. And I'm so glad. It was kind of like, you know, how some people make you learn to swim by throwing you in, which I actually don't agree with. So that's a bad analogy. But with coaching, a lot of times we can get out of all this swirl and overthinking and all that stuff just by coaching and getting started. That's so, so key. Okay. So once you have an idea of what you would like to coach, okay, maybe you have an idea, maybe you don't, which is totally fine. Okay. But let's talk about the other part of the equation. And this might help you get more clarity around your niche and what you'd like to coach is who you're going to coach. So a lot of new coaches will start off by saying that they want to help everyone. Does anybody feel that way? Like, I know, like that was me for a long time. And like, I want, like, well, who do you want to coach? Well, I can coach, you know, any ages, I can coach any gender, I can coach different, like, you know, whatever. So like, maybe like I could even coach in French, which I can't anymore. I apologize. Rosalia will have to practice, but you know, like you want to just coach it all. Okay. So let's talk about that because that's really key. It's a beautiful thought. It really is. It comes from the heart and wanting to be of service and help. But it will make it difficult to start your coaching business, and which means that you're actually going to end up helping fewer people. Okay. When you try to talk to everyone, this is especially relevant when you take your coaching business online, right? Some of your first clients might be from people who know you in your network, and you can be super broad. You can be like, I'm a coach. They're like, great, I want to do coaching. And you can be broad like that. And that's a great way to get started. But I want you to know that as your coaching business grows and you're online, where you're reaching all the people online, if you're trying to keep it broad like that, I'm a coach. People will be like, so it's 5,000 other people like in that I know, you know, so it's going to make it hard for you to connect with people. It just sounds really general and it's hard to stand out. Okay. And again, the bottom line is you just don't help as many people. So to choose your target market, here's some things to think about. It's always nice to start with a demographic. That's a nice way to kind of pare it down. You know, like, do you want to work with, you know, like men versus women or a certain gender, age ranges? Is there a specific problem or challenge? Maybe it's location specific, like I know people who work with doctors and so on and so forth. I know this guy who he comes from an engineering background, and he has a really successful business. He helps engineers find love. I like, so how specific is that? Like, he's like engineers, it's not just, if he went out there and said, I help people find love. I mean, yeah, you'd probably get a few clients, but it would be hard to have like a booming, thriving business. He's very, he targets his group, and he's doing amazing things, right? So you also think about the people that you instantly connect with, right? So beyond the demographics, there's probably just some people that you have that connection with. For me, what really helped me pinpoint this was I thought about, like, if I was at an event or a party or at some kind of retreat, like there's usually like just certain personalities that we kind of connect with. So that might not be apparent to you right now, but just something for you to be aware of and thinking about, because as you're developing your coaching business, you're just going to like click with some people. It's not bad, or there's no judgment around it. It's just how it is. And you can be a more effective coach and coach more people if you're aware of these types of things. I call them soul clients. Okay. So I'm going to use that term. And that's what I mean. It's just, rather than just everybody and anybody, it's the people that you really connect with. And it just kind of feels like you're meant to be working together. So it just feels like there's a synergy or something. It's pretty cool. You just want to think about like values, personalities, work and learning styles, interests, things like that as well can help you determine who your clients are. So when you focus on attracting your soul clients, your business just comes together. Like when we get that clarity around that, it just comes together. It's more clear, it's more compelling. You're aligned, people are drawn to that. They're drawn to not just your energy, but also your messaging is clear, and everything grows faster. So that's why this is such a key part of getting your business set up. And I want to say too, because I know we have some experienced coaches on here. I think the different, like new coaches are like, oh, I need to figure this out. Experienced coaches, we know that we're always figuring this out. I work on this stuff pretty much like every month. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, it's every week. I revisit this, I refine. So it's ongoing work, is looking at the stuff that we're looking at here with our soul clients, and basically all the basics we're looking at today. So in case you're wondering what kind of coach you should call yourself, these are the questions I get all the time, so I'm just going ahead with them. Here's the answer. I love this answer. It doesn't matter. Okay. You can call yourself any kind of coach that you want. People are not going to sign up for you sign up for your coaching because you are a purposeful life coach. Sorry, I was going to try to come up with a big long name, but I couldn't think of one. But you can basically call yourself whatever you want. That's not important. What I would recommend is that it's clear, and so people know what you do. Like, I'm a business coach. I mean, I'd love to pare that down a lot more, but in brief conversation, that's all people need to know. And it's something that excites you too. Okay. Especially as you're getting started, all these little confidence boosters can help. I've learned that there's little ways to sprinkle in confidence to get your coaching business rolling. So call yourself something that is accurate, that is clear, and that you're like, you say it and you're like, yeah, I'm that. Okay. And then, and it'll change too. So like one of my coaches, she jokes that she's got 7 different coaching titles, and she just kind of picks one, whatever her mood is. And it really is like that. I think I have a few as well. So many coaches get stuck in figuring out their niche. Okay. This is a big thing. I see coaches like, oh, I talk to so many coaches who are like, well, we talked last year and you wanted to start your coaching business. I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is. Like, so don't do that. Don't get stuck in choosing your niche. A lot of times, if you're not sure, call yourself a life coach. All coaching is essentially life coaching. Call yourself a life coach. Start working with some people. It's going to become apparent to you what your niche is the more that you coach. That was like me, because how I came to coaching and helping other people that are coaching businesses. I was just being asked that all the time. And that was what I was knowledgeable in, skilled in, and passionate about. It fit all the markers. But it wasn't like I sat around at home one day and said, I think I'm going to. It happened by me being in the field and coaching. And it came that way. Okay. So clarity comes through taking action. So once you have an idea about your niche, or not, so don't worry if you don't have this today, you're just getting an idea. You're getting a I'm lifting up the curtain today and giving you a glimpse of what goes into putting together a coaching business. Okay. You don't need to figure it all out in today's workshop. Although if you do, that you'd probably win a medal, because that would be a lot. So just know that, get the basics from here and don't worry about figuring it all out right now, because that will, steam will probably come. So, so the next step, and this is kind of fun. So let's say you have an idea of who you want to coach. Then what you want to do is you want to put together a package for your coaching. Okay. So why create a coaching package versus just offering like one-off sessions? Oh, let's have a call. Why should you put together a coaching package? So let's briefly look at that. It makes coaching feel more tangible and real. Okay. So coaching can be intangible, right? Like start talking about it with people and they're gonna be like, what is that exactly? So when you have a package, it takes something that's kind of out here and it makes it a product. It makes it a thing. Okay. Which makes it a lot easier for people to understand and to feel safe signing up for, and so they can work on the changes they want to make. Provides a container to focus on and achieve a certain result. So it's a really lovely way to help people make the changes they want to make. Okay. Making changes and creating lasting transformation usually requires more than one session. You can do some little things in one session, but to really, do the things you want to do, it requires more than that. It's a lot easier to run your business. So think about if you were just offering like one session or a pack of two or something here and there, you'd have to be hunting for clients all the time. Like here and there, it's really hard to run a business that way. So there's a business part of it, strategic part as well. When you're offering packages, it just gives you your business, right? It also you'll attract clients who are committed to making changes versus somebody who might just want like a quick Band-Aid fix, right? Like I want to find love, but I don't want to sign up for your package. Just tell me in one call what I need to do so I can find love. I mean, that could happen, but usually there's like more work that goes into that. So you don't have to be a love coach. I'm just using that as an example because we were just talking about our love coach. And it's the best way to help your clients get results. So it's a win-win for everybody. Okay. So you really want to think about a coaching package. That's your takeaway here. If you're wondering how it looks, I'm just going to briefly kind of give you some highlights of how to put together your coaching package. Just like how we did earlier, you start with the end goal and you work backwards. Okay. So what are the steps needed to achieve this? Okay. So I dive into this more with my clients, like, and we break down the steps, like, basically a coaching package is from point A to point B, what needs to happen. Okay. So there's some work in there to put together, to think about that and to break down your coaching package. There's some work, but it doesn't need to take a long time. You could do that in a week or less. You could do that in one session, really. Okay. To get started, don't create a package with too much structure or too many resources until you've worked with clients. This is a common mistake that coaches will make and I think this comes also from wanting to feel more secure and confident. Well, if I have all of these like PDFs and modules and blah, 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 to go with my coaching, then I'll feel more comfortable charging and people will want to hire me more. And that's not at all necessary. For the first few years that I coached, it was me and the phone. I don't even think we had Zoom then. I know that I feel so old saying that. Coaching before Zoom, can you imagine? And that's the heart of coaching right there. You can fancy it up as you go. Like now when I work with clients, I have the modules, I have the videos and the workbooks and blah, 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 and all the things, but I certainly didn't start there. And that material was created as I worked with clients. I was like, okay, everybody's asking for more, they're needing more around this topic. And so I would create materials with that, right? And that also depends on your niche too. For business coaching, it makes sense to have some of that. For what but you don't have to. One of my coaches, she's an 8-figure coach. She doesn't write anything down. Like she would laugh in your face if you talk about that. She like gets on her, I think she uses Zoom now. Yes. But other people help her set it up and she just gets on the call and talks and goes. Like, that's it. So that's all you need. And you can add that stuff on later. And you want to keep it spacious and flexible so that you can respond to your client's progress, right? So like, let's say you want to help people, I always like to use examples with health coaching because that just feels very clear. So a lot of health coaches, a lot of coaches around weight loss. Let's say you want to help somebody lose 20 pounds. Okay. You probably have an idea of your process when you're starting out, but the more that you work with clients, you're going to see like, you know, you're going to notice that a lot of your clients have a similar progression and similar questions and similar things. So then you can start to add into them. Okay. But you want to just keep it spacious and flexible. The heart of coaching is really just being there for your client, responding to what they need, right? Holding that space. So give your coaching package a structure. This is for the logistics. Okay, this is so that when people want to sign up for coaching, they feel a lot more comfortable knowing these types of details. So let me talk about what those are. Your title of your package, keep it clear and focused on what the result is. If it's vague and ambiguous or something that you think is really pretty, but nobody gets, that will be tough to sell. So a specific length of time, you know, you want to be clear on how long your coaching package is, what's included in it, like how many coaching calls, how long are the coaching calls, what do they get between calls? Like for my private clients, I offer unlimited email and Voxer support. That's like a voicemail thing. So I let people know that beforehand because that's really valuable, you know, for people. So you don't have to do that. There's a lot of coaches who don't. So you want to be really clear on what you want and make sure that that's in your coaching package so that you're communicating clearly with people and they understand. You want a clear idea of the specific results that people can expect. Of course, you can never, you can guarantee people's results. I'll help you lose 10 pounds, but you can't say, yes, you're going to lose 10 pounds. You know, coaching is always like a co-creation. It's between you and your client. So, but you want to let people know what they can expect to get from their coaching. And of course, the price of your coaching. If you offer payment plans, you want to be very clear on with that as well. So here's a hot tip. The most important part of your coaching package is the transformation that your clients will receive. That's what people are going to sign up for your coaching for. They're going to sign up for the result. It's not going to be because you offer 10 calls over 90 days with some videos. Like they're going to sign up because they're going to lose the 10 pounds or, you know, whatever the result is. That is the key for your coaching package. And it's important to always lead with that and to know that that's what you're offering people. Okay. Another hot tip, you may have a lot of ideas for a lot of different coaching packages. If you're like me, I've got like 30 coaching packages I really want to do right now. So, but what you want to do, especially for those of you starting, is you want to pick one and launch it successfully, get all the bugs worked out, get your messaging down, learn how to attract clients to that, take some clients through, get some results, get some testimonials, you know, get that all worked out. And then once that's running, you know, in your business all the time, then you can add. Do not try to launch a whole bunch of stuff at once. It's going to be like pushing a whole bunch of boulders up the hill at the same time. So focus on one thing at a time. Okay. All right. How's everybody doing? Good. So you guys all look like you're thinking. Is that right? I know I'm giving a lot today. But again, I just want to emphasize that the intention is not for you to figure it all out today, which, I mean, if you can, awesome, do that. Do not let me stop that. But it's really to give you an inside look on the steps needed so that you can focus on the right things. Because a lot of coaches want to get started. I mean, there's just so many things out there, right? Especially if you're in the online world, there's like a bazillion different ways. Like people are going to be like, do this, and it can be really confusing to know what to do. This is the stuff that gives you your business. So that's why I really want to dive into that. So we cannot talk about coaching without talking about clients, right? So, and again, I want to emphasize your soul clients. Those are, rather than just a broad everybody, you want to focus on your soul clients. So let's talk about that some more. The most important thing to focus on in your coaching business at any stage are your clients. Okay. You may want to post this in your office or have it pop up in your phone or something, because I cannot tell you, and I've done it too, because I've made all the mistakes, but this is very, very, very common for coaches to focus on things that are not going to attract clients. So I really want to emphasize in this section that this is where the focus needs to be all the time at any stage, right? So I say that here. Common mistake new coaches make is is focus on setting up your business without focusing on signing up clients. Okay. So your number one focus should always be on attracting new clients and serving your existing clients. So just make that your mantra: clients, clients, clients. So, and again, I like soul clients because that gives that extra level of depth. You know, you want to help people in a soulful, meaningful way, and all the kind of things. So when you focus on attracting your clients, you've probably heard the expression, what you focus your attention on grows, right? What we focus on grows. So if you're focused on attracting clients, you'll get your clients. A lot of coaches focus on their websites when they're starting. And I've literally seen this over and over again, where like the first 3 months, like I know like people, you know, I'll have clients come to me and say, Lauren, I know you say this, but I really want to get my website done. So in the first 3 months, if you focus on a website, you'll get a website. If you focus on clients, you'll have clients. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have clients. Website's cool, but it's, and that will come. Oh, something happen with my screens? I just got a little blurb on my, let me stop this for a second. Okay, and I'll start again. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I might have had a technical situation, but we're coming back.
And Lauren, this is just for you, but it's 1:40, just so you know.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. I think my slides crashed, so we're going to bring them back. and no worries. I can. We're actually coming to the end anyway. But and again, I'll have these slides available, so you guys will have this. This will be super helpful for you to have. So okay. So let me open up my slides again and see if they. Oh goodness. My computer's. I have an old MacBook Pro, and it is not so happy with today. It's time to upgrade, but I'm hanging on. Okay, so
It's back. We see
it's
it.
back. Okay, let me put it full screen. It's a little prettier. Okay, we'll see. We're in the home stretch. We can do it. Okay, so when you focus on attracting clients, what you focus on grows. Okay, so I was talking about that. Don't focus on your website to start. Focus on your clients, and you'll get better at attracting clients, right? Your business will grow faster. It becomes more profitable, right? Clients means profits. You're running a business. You want this to work for you. So, and your business will feel less busy when you know what to focus on. Okay, that's a biggie. You don't like, you can get into busy mode and overwhelm really quickly. You want to stay away from that. If you always are focused on the activities that will bring you clients, you know what to work on, right? Your business feels more rewarding, enjoyable, and inspiring, and you get to stay in your zone of genius and do your coaching work, which is more fulfilling for you and helps others. So win-win-win. Okay. There's always going to be stuff to do in your business that keeps you busy. True, very true. Without clients, you don't have a business. Okay. So I know you're wondering, okay, Lauren, that sounds great. Where do I find clients? And there's a lot of ways to find clients. I just want, if you can take away one takeaway from this section, know that there's a lot of ways to find clients. What happens when you hear about coaches who are struggling to get clients? Typically, it's because, I'd say the majority of the time, it's because they don't have what we just talked about dialed in all the way. The niche isn't perfectly clear. The package isn't compelling to their soul clients, or perhaps not sure who their soul clients are. So some of those details are usually not quite right. It's not, or it's like not aligned with their lives. So some of these things are like, it sounds so perhaps so simple, but that's often what the problem is. And we think it's, well, there's no clients, but typically it's one of these first things. Okay. And because once you get all of that dialed in and clear, then you'll see that it's easy to find clients when you have something that people want and you know how to talk about it so that people understand it. People will come to you. But let's talk about strategy. I love strategy, but there's a place for it, okay, for finding clients. So a great way to start finding clients for your coaching business is within your own network, reaching out to your friends and acquaintances. And there's a lot more potential in there than we often think, okay? You can post on your social media, and there's a way to do that. Like when I work with clients, we have certain, we have there's templates that we personalize, but there's certain ways to do that rather than, hey, I'm a coach, I'm coaching me. No, we have a way where we talk about our coaching in a way that makes it about our clients, and so they respond. You can offer free workshops or classes that can be online or in person. Networking, this can be online as well as in person. You can just offer to help people, you know, in your area of expertise and kind of get some experience and get the word out and get the ball rolling, right? This is all to get us moving and get us working with clients. Your first clients will likely come from your network of connections. But eventually you're going to reach a point where you're like, okay, everybody, I know this happened to me. I was like, okay, everybody that knows me knows I'm a coach. Like, I need more. And that's when I really doubled down, or not double down. I just really learned how to do online marketing as well. Okay. So you can find clients online by building and growing your email list, just like any business. I'm sure you guys are probably on an email list for any business that you like. They might send you emails every day, and that can happen, but you don't have to do that. We'll talk about that some other time. Building and growing your social media. That's not a prime way. I just want to emphasize that too, that it's not, a lot of people think if I just post on social media, I'll get clients. You can get a few that way for sure, but there's more reliable ways to create that consistency in your coaching business. Okay. And I just want to briefly talk about this because I don't want to get into too many details. But what you want to do as a coach when you're ready for online clients, and you can be ready for online clients from day one. Okay, this isn't something you need to wait on, is creating what's called an online client journey. What that is it takes people who are complete strangers to you, who don't know you at all, and there's specific steps that you create that you take them through so that they, you know, you get on their radar and they kind of like learn about you and they trust you and you're helping them solve problems, and then they want to become your client. Okay, so it's a series of steps called an online client journey. Some of the marketers call it funnels. That's sort of an impersonal word, but online client journey for coaches, because for coaches, you want really specific steps. So it might look like, and again, we're not going to get into too much detail here. I just want to give you an idea of what it can look like. Creating some valuable free content to grow your email list, a video training or workshop, nurturing and building relationships through social media. That's a great way to use social media for your business rather than depending on it for all your clients. Running a Facebook group. Some people really like to do that. You can run some paid ads. You don't have to. Organic can work really well. And there's a lot more. But what's key is that you set up the steps. So it's not just that piecemeal all over the place kind of, I need clients, maybe I'll post on Instagram today. So it's actually, you actually have a plan and a strategy. Okay. So, but all of these, again, they're only effective if you know how to connect with your soul clients. And that comes from the steps that we have talked about before this. Okay. And you know, getting clear on what you want, your niche, your offer, your package, all these things need to be dialed in. And then you add the online marketing to it. And it's just lovely. So you can tell I like that stuff. Most people don't describe online marketing as lovely, but it can be really lovely when it's approached the right way. So in putting together a plan or strategy, it's important to be strategic, but also connect with yourself and your intuition. Okay. An aligned marketing plan to attract your clients. It brings out the best in you, right? And attracts your soul clients and will yield the best results. Okay. So don't just see somebody else doing something and, you know, saying, oh, well, let me do what they're doing. It has to really come from you and be aligned for the marketing to work. And I just want to mention that build it and they will come. It's not the best way to attract clients, just in case that's coming up for you. So just by having a website or social media, it doesn't mean that clients will, you might get a few here and there, but you need to create this intentional process for attracting clients. But what I want you to, the internal shift that I want, because I know we're soft skills today, which I love, because this is a lot of like tactics and stuff, but a lot of it are the shifts and the internal stuff. You need to believe that your soul clients are out there and they're in abundance. There's like 4.57 billion people online, right? And you know, your soul clients are there. You have to believe that for all of this to work, right? And you know, the secret is to just keep focusing on your soul clients and talking to them rather than the 4.57 billion people, right? And just in case this is coming up for you, because I hear this a lot, in case you're like marketing and selling, it feels like ew, and we get the stereotype of the car salesman. Nothing against car salesmen, they got to do their jobs too. But just in case it comes up for you, usually when marketing feels kind of smarmy or ick, it usually just means that either if you're being marketed to, it just means you're not their sole client. Like, it just means you're not the people they're targeting. It's not, the message is not for you. So if you're on the receiving end of that, that's typically what that means. It also might mean that they just haven't like perfected their marketing strategy, right? Too. So both sides, because the truth is that marketing and selling, it's really about connecting and communicating. It's about taking your message that you want to help people with and putting it out on the world so that you can help more people. That's the heart of marketing. And it's really important to know that. When you're truly aligned with your coaching business, you know who your clients are, then it can really feel, it just feels natural, it feels authentic, and it's just a really nice connection. And it can be one of the best parts of your coaching business. Okay.
Lauren, I'm so sorry, because we have another event starting, so we're going on this channel. So I'm gonna have to cut it here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we had more time. Okay, well, you know what? I'm actually done here. Let me do like 3 more slides. Would that be okay?
Yeah, okay. And okay. Sorry about that. It's just that we have
No, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, no worries. So you can read this cool tip when you get your slides. I'm going to be sharing that link in a second. There's a summary of the tips here. I'm not going to go over those now, but you guys can read them. But I just want you to take away from this, how would it feel to have this? Right? To have your business, to be doing your thing, and to be getting paid well for what you're naturally gifted at, right? And, to work from wherever you like, and to have your coaching business. Okay. So we don't do homework, but if you want to do homework, I just want you to really sit with that and feel that and envision what that would look like and what you need to do to get there. So, and if you would like some help with that, if you want to find out more about my programs and how I work with clients, I'm happy to talk to you some more. I'm going to pop this link in the chat because you can't click on the slide for this. So here's a link to where you can ask for some more information about my coaching programs and how I help people with their coaching businesses. Okay. You can read that on your own, and I've shared some examples of what people have been able to do so that you can see it. It's not just me telling you, you can see people doing that. And there's your thank you for being here. And here's, I'm going to pop these links in now. Let me stop sharing my screen and come over into the chat. And so I can share these links with you. Let me bring them up. Okay, so I've got 2 special links. I've got McGill in them just for you guys. So, okay, so for more info on coaching, you guys see that one? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And for the slides, whoops, what am I doing? I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Okay. All right, so there are your links right there. I don't know, do you send emails out to people, Rosalia? I'm not sure if you can send those links out since we're doing this.
I definitely will. What I'll do is I'll send those links. I copied the chat
Awesome.
So that I'm going to get the links. And I'll also send you any questions that weren't answered or anything like that, but I'll send that to you, and I'll make sure everybody gets these links by email. So if you jotted it down, great, but also know that I'll be sending them to you in the next few days. Lauren, I can't thank you enough. I'm sorry I rushed you through the end, but we have a packed schedule.
Yeah, no, sorry. I didn't quite understand the time, but I put my email in there too. So if you guys have questions, I'm so sorry that I wanted to hear from you too, but no worries. This is like such an amazing event. So thank you so much for having me in here. And thank you so much, everybody. And go forth and coach. And if you do have questions or want more information, just reach out to me and I'm happy to help. So thank you.
I love the go forth and coach. Lauren, you're really amazing at this. Yeah, like I said, you'll see all the comments in the chat, but thank you so much for sharing all this wisdom, for being here. And I think people really enjoyed your energy and and a lot of nods as I say that. So thank you again, and we'll connect, but I will definitely email, I'll copy you as I copy everybody on this. Bye, everybody.
Perfect. Thank you.
For joining.
Bye.
Bye.